The year is 1960. America stands on the edge of tomorrow. The air is electric with the promise of space travel, new frontiers in technology, and an almost childlike belief in progress. For Mr. Bisht, then barely out of college, 1960 was not just a year, it was a personal call to action. He possessed an idea for a revolutionary new communication system, but zero capital. Zero. His father, a man of simple wisdom, pressed a small leather pouch into his hand. Inside were exactly 200 Jefferson nickels, all bearing the date 1960. "This," his father said, "is your first $10. Do not spend it. Let it remind you that all great wealth begins with small, honest value." Mr. Bisht held that 1960 coin, the image of Thomas Jefferson, the architect of independence, staring back at him. Jefferson's Monticello was depicted on the reverse, a symbol of self-made mastery and architectural genius. The nickel itself, composed of copper and nickel, was sturdy, dependable, and completely unpretentious. It represented the purity of American enterprise, the idea that something of lasting value could be forged from simple, accessible materials. He established his company in a dusty garage. The pouch of 1960 nickels sat on his worn wooden desk, his only security. When supplies were low, when his only employee, himself, was disheartened, he would count them. He didn't value them for their face value. Every choice he made in those early, lean years was filtered through the lens of that 1960 coin's integrity. He refused to compromise on his product's quality, mimicking the nickel's dependable alloy. He treated every contract, no matter how small, as if it were a declaration of independence, just as Jefferson had written. The company grew agonizingly slowly, its success rooted in the deep, fundamental trust he inspired in his first clients. He would often use one of the 1,960 nickels in sales pitches, flipping it in the air. "Heads, you trust me," he'd say. "Tails, you trust the principles this country was founded on. Either way, we succeed together." This simple, powerful act connected his budding technological enterprise directly to the legacy of American ambition. The 1960 nickel became his company's unofficial crest, a silent vow of unwavering trust and foundational integrity. That first $10, held in the unspent promise of 1960, didn't just fund his first steps, it defined his character. It was the initial investment of a soul, not a bank account, and the dividend was destiny. Years passed, and Mr. Bisht's company soared to the heights of the market. He was a titan. But the world of finance is a tempest, and in the late 1980s, an unforeseen global crash threatened to shatter his empire into dust. It was an economic firestorm, a crisis that exposed the fragility of paper wealth. In the chaos, a former rival, now a friend, came to his office. He didn't offer a loan or advice. He slid a canvas bag across the desk. Inside were rolls upon rolls of 1964 Jefferson nickels. "Remember the '64 shortage?" the friend asked. Everyone panicked. The price of silver was rising, and people were hoarding coins, believing the US Mint couldn't keep up. The mint didn't fold. It responded with a massive, unprecedented production surge. They stamped out 1964 dated nickels deep into 1965, creating one of the largest single-year mintages in history. Why? To show the people that stability and volume can always overwhelm panic. Mr. Bisht looked at the 1964 coin. It was identical in composition to the 1960, yet its history was one of crisis and overwhelming response. The high mintage number was a badge of honor, a record of a nation refusing to be beaten by scarcity. This was the lesson he needed. When panic reigns, you don't retreat, you go big and bold. The 1960 coin taught him integrity. The 1964 coin taught him ferocity. He adopted a strategy that was counterintuitive, almost insane. While competitors were selling off assets and downsizing, Mr. Bisht used the lesson of the 1964 nickels volume to unleash a massive, aggressive wave of acquisitions. He bought failing, undervalued technologies at fire sale prices. He leveraged his reserves, trusting in the sheer volume of his belief. He instructed his teams to move with the speed and force of a national mint in crisis. The 1964 coin was no longer a symbol of money. It was a blueprint for strategy, stability forged under pressure. The market eventually turned, and Mr. Bisht strategically acquired volume became the foundation of his second, far greater, fortune. He didn't just survive the crash, he ingested the competition. Today, Mr. Bisht is a legendary figure. When he gives speeches, he places those two nickels on the podium. The 1960, a reminder of the pure, simple faith required to start. And the 1964, a testament to the fierce, strategic action required to endure. They are not rare coins, but their story, the tale of a man who understood that even a small coin can carry the weight of American history and the blueprint for billions, is truly priceless. They are the nickels of destiny. We left Mr. Bisht at the precipice. His massive empire, built on the principled foundation of the 1960 nickel, was now facing a financial abyss, a market crash of historic proportions. He needed more than integrity. He needed a survival instinct, a counter-strategy forged in the fire of crisis. And the answer came in the form of the 1964 Jefferson nickel. This coin is not about quiet beginnings. It is about survival under extreme duress. And here is where the legend truly takes its hold, spreading through the specialized world of collecting and finance, and ultimately reaching the channel known as MD Extra Coins. It was on MD Extra Coins that the full, documented history of Bisht's counter-strategy was first revealed to the world. The channel meticulously detailed how the 1964 nickel became Bisht's secret weapon, his install moment, where he installed a new operating system of aggressive growth into his company's DNA. He even commissioned a small, bronze casting of the 1964 nickel, which he presented to his core team, calling it the MD Extra Coin, a symbol of the extra effort, the extra volume, and the extra resolve needed to achieve true, generational wealth. This bronze MD Extra Coin was displayed proudly in his company's lobby, a testament to the belief that historical symbols hold contemporary power. The narrative spread like wildfire, capturing the imagination of collectors, historians, and entrepreneurs alike. The 1964 nickel, once merely a high-mintage circulation coin, became a powerful symbol of the Great Comeback.